ACHR Aviation second quarter 2025 earnings call. Welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. We have a lot to go through and we are expecting some great big news. Bear with me. Let me just check. Market is now closing. Closing bell just literally rung, and we are now seeing a reaction all day. ACHR was pretty much in free fall. Well, free fall. ACHR has been selling off. We are waiting for the audience joining us from the main event or from the previous event. Bear with me. Thank you everyone for joining. Don't forget to hit the like button. We are covering ACHR Aviation second quarter, as you can see above me. We are expecting a lot to be happening today on the call. ACHR have been pivoting towards defense. Allegedly. Let's see what updates we are going to hear. Let's see if we hear about the new aircraft. Let's see what the market reaction is going to be. Today has been very placid and very lukewarm. So let's see what's going to happen now. We can see after the closing bell, the volume has been slightly picking up, but nothing major yet. We could see the volume picking up just before the closing bell. Currently, we have a green candle and we are waiting for more updates. And let's see if we get a letter yet. We're not getting a letter. I'm waiting for the main audience joining us from the previous. Yes, I'm eyeing the chat and you are excited. You can see November 704 Alpha Xavier. Yes, we are all looking out for the aircraft. Those who just joined me, we are covering ACHR Aviation, the second quarter 2025 earnings call. We are still waiting for the main audience to join us from the previous event. Before we get there, we are now looking at the volume picking up to the closing bell. So there's a lot of excitement, a lot of hopes, and we have the main audience. Thank you very much for joining me. All XRP fans, LXR and XRP investors, thank you for joining me. We are covering ACHR Aviation second quarter 2025 earnings call. What is ACHR Aviation? Well, let's have a look. This is this fancy, futuristic, beautiful, sexy aircraft. Did I say sexy? Can I say sexy on the show? Well, I just said it like 3 times. It is sexy. I saw it in the flesh. I happened to see it in Paris, in the Paris Air Show, and the aircraft is just beautiful. We are expecting to see one reveal by ACHR Aviation. We are expecting to see the new piloted aircraft, which is capable of the full transition. We can see a long green candle picking up. Thank you everyone for joining me. This is great opportunity for you as a long-term investor because ACHR Aviation, there's a lot of expectation and there's never been so much expectation on ACHR as of now. Because ACHR have announced shift towards defense. So from the civilian sector, let me just show you this, and I will talk you through, and I will talk over and explain what ACHR Aviation actually are doing. So these are called air taxis, the air taxis. I don't like the term, but think of this as a hybrid between, say, a taxi, small bus, an aeroplane, and a helicopter. And this is supposed to be the future of urban mobility. What does it mean? That means that if you think of a very densely populated city like Los Angeles, New York, Asian cities, London, you name it, think of traffic and being stuck in traffic for a couple of hours, and you being high profile manager or CEO of a company, and you are stuck for 2 hours in traffic trying to get from the city center to the airport. You are losing your time. You are losing money as well. So this is the future solution, and this is the most efficient solution because we are not traveling in 2 dimensions. We are using the 3rd dimension now, and that means we are avoiding all the congestion. That's not it. The aircraft is much cheaper to operate and run. The aircraft is quieter than your normal helicopter. Think of the difference between helicopter and this evtol. Actually, I didn't explain what evtol stands for. My apologies. Let me get back to this. VTOL stands for vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Literally, you could see it at the beginning of the video. The aircraft takes off and lands vertically, then it transitions into horizontal phase, and then again it lands vertically. It can also take off and land horizontally as well. And I can see the numbers are out. Let me just check. Let me just check the chart. Wow. Let me dig out the numbers for you, and I will finish what I've been talking about. A lot happening right now. Bear with me. I will bring you the numbers as soon as I can. I haven't got a notification yet. I'm waiting for the newsletter, for the investors letter. So these aircraft are very efficient. They are much more quiet. Think of your combustion engine car and your electric vehicle. These levels of noises, we are talking about these differences. If also, not only it's quieter, it's much safer. If you think of a conventional helicopter with 1 or 2 rotors, if that fails, there's not much chance of a recovery. There are certain there's only one maneuver you can carry out as an experienced pilot to carry out your emergency landing, but you can't really do much. Whilst this very one, ACHR Midnight, their aircraft called Midnight, they have 6 rotors at front and 6 at the back. So we have 12 propellers. If one of these fails, you have redundancy. That means you still have another 11. And if you can't finish or continue your flight, you can still carry out your emergency landing. So these are the main factors. These are the main advantages. Let me just see if we can get the numbers for you. In the meantime, hit the like button, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. Bear with me. We are expecting the. I'm now looking for the numbers. And we are expecting the investors letter as well. And we will be looking out. We'll be peeking. We'll be looking into the future. Well, an hour forward and seeing what news we are going to get, and we are going to hear from ACHR Aviation CEO Adam Goldstein. ACHR Aviation, let me just have a look. Right, do we have any numbers yet? I can't see any numbers here. If somebody knows any numbers, if somebody can already see any numbers, please do let me know so you can save me time trying to look for it. If we go here, investing.com, and let's try ACHR. Let me just bring this up. ACHR, sorry, wrong ticker symbol. Right, we've got ACHR Aviation. Do we have the numbers here? We've got nothing came out yet. If somebody can see, I'm just checking the chat. I've got it ahead of me, in front of me. I'm not rolling my eyes on you. Just bear with me. If somebody can help me and see if you see the numbers, and I think I've already got the investors letter as well. So let me bring this up on the screen, and then we will be talking more. Yes, I've got one. ACHR announces second quarter results, highlight manufacturing ramp of Midnight aircraft ahead of early commercial deployments. Wow, that is the news we all have been waiting for. We all have been waiting for this. ACHR announces second quarter results, highlighting manufacturing ramp of Midnight aircraft ahead of early commercial deployments. Wow. 6 Midnight aircraft in production, 3 of which are in final assembly at our facilities. There we go. November 704 Alpha Xavier. The piloted, fully transitional aircraft will be one of them. 100%, no doubt. Selected as the official air taxi provider of the Los Angeles 28 Olympics. Yes, I've told you, I've been telling you about this. This is main ACHR's PR pivoting event. So they are building their PR around it, which is it's not a bad thing. It's great PR and marketing for the sector. Commenced United Arab Emirates launch edition program with Abu Dhabi Aviation and the Abu Dhabi Investment Office. Yes, we will get to that shortly. Accelerated defense program with 2 strategic acquisitions. Yes, that was the recent news announced end of last week. We brought you this on my Saturday show as well, and you could see a preview airing yesterday. That was the last call the last info for the earnings call. We can see the initial sell-off is now away, and now this is the we have already 2 candles, and look at this. Volume will be picking up. We are, oh, the long candle is burning, so that means the investors have been reading through the letter. Finally, there we go. Again, don't jump on it now. It could be a sell-off. There could be the financial situation could be probably not pleasing. We know ACHR usually historically sells off on the earnings call. They have good news, same as Joby, but this company is in pre-revenue phase still. We are not so far away from the revenue phase, but we are still in pre-revenue phase. So don't try to jump into it and chase it. Wait for the result. Wait for the call, the guidance, the questions. Right, sector leading balance sheet with over 1.7 billion of cash and cash equivalents. That was something I was looking out for as well. I brought you the updates on Saturday and in my yesterday special video as well. Great. So what we've got here, ACHR Aviation Incorporated today announced operating and financial results for second quarter ended June 30th, 2025. The company issued a shareholder letter discussing those results as well as its third quarter 2025 estimates. Great. We will see some guidance. We will see how cost efficient the business is. We will see. We already know we have $1.7 billion in cash, and we will see how long this can last. How long can ACHR be burning on this oil? And there we go. We are selling off again. See, if you bought it on the way up, now you would be down like 5-10%. Again, don't jump into it now. Wait for the reaction. Wait for the outcome. This can fall through the bottom. I'm having Sensei later on the show. I'll bring you Sensei in a few minutes, and he will tell you the supports, the resistance. He will give you good entry points for the stock as well. Don't try to chase it. This could easily sell off, and tomorrow we could be easily below $9. So don't try to chase it. You can see it's going up and down like a yo-yo. Let's keep reading through the news. We got great audience. Thank you everyone for joining. Thanks for the XRP audience joining as well. Let me just check if everything is coming through. If you have any questions, fire them away. Fire them away in the chat. I'll be with you in the very minute. We've got massive audience. This is the main event. Don't forget to hit the like button again. This is the main event of the day. Don't go anywhere. You can't get anything bigger than this. Unless Donald Trump declares World War III, you're not gonna get any bigger news than this. So bear with me. Don't go anywhere. And if he does, I'll be the first one to cover it and bring it live to you. Look what the chart is doing. We have another sell-off. $9.18. So if you were to chase it on that little green candle, well, it was fairly big, but compared to this one, it's fairly small. If you were to buy it at $9.60, you would have been now down what? 5-10%? 5, yeah. So wait, don't try to chase it. It can go either way. Right, this quarter, all right. Commenting on second quarter 25 results, Adam Goldstein, ACHR's founder and CEO, said, this quarter, we ramped aircraft manufacturing across our facilities in California and Georgia with 6 Midnight aircraft in production. That's great news because we have the ARC facility in Georgia and we have been waiting for some update on this for 3 quarters already. That's great. Including 3 in final assembly. Alongside major progress in United Arab Emirates, our section at the official air taxi provider of Los Angeles 28 Olympic Games, and 2 acquisitions to accelerate our defense program. We are executing from a position of strength with a sector leading $1.7 billion of liquidity. Right, we have now invitation to the webcast. Let me see if we have the actual letter so we can have a sneak peek into it and we can see what Adam Goldstein is going to be talking about. But whilst I'm doing this, do you want to see Sensei? I'll bring Sensei on the show, and Sensei will give you his thoughts of the stock chart. So Sensei, there he is.
Investor, we have ACHR Aviation earnings coming up today. That this will link straight to it. But before we get into that, Vaz might even be showing this live on the show. We're looking at the chart. Let's have a look at the chart analysis coming into the earnings. The earnings are happening very soon, or as we speak. Vaz might be showing this video while you're looking at the ACHR earnings. So either way, here is the chart analysis for ACHR Aviation. This is one we've been looking at for a while. It's actually one that Vaz requested a few months ago. We looked at a double top back at $7, and then we looked at a massive buy zone around $2.77. Ever since then, obviously, we have gone up quite significantly, hitting targets of $9, $10, coming back into the buy zones around $7 and $8. And now currently we went into all-time highs, or not all-time highs, but pretty highs we haven't seen in many years, around $13. And as we speak right now, we're at $9. I'm not sure what the price is when you're watching this, because earnings might be out. We might be significantly up to the upside or significantly down towards the downside. But either way, I'm going to give you my opinion. But before we get into that, one thing that's the most important thing I need to say throughout this video is nothing I say is financial advice, so please do not buy or sell based on anything I say. This is my thoughts and opinions only. I'm not a financial advisor, so be very careful. So if I'm looking at earnings, I like to look at two.
Sorry, I was muted. Can you hear me now? I said we don't have enough likes. Hit the like button. If we get 100 likes, I've got a shareholders letter here. Some news, highlights. We can go through it. But if we don't get 100 likes, I'm not doing it.
Two zones. I like to be prepared for a very bad earnings and a very good earnings. So those two zones that pop out to me in the first place is, one would be a buy zone between $7 and $8, where I can see this price heading to if we get a miss on earnings or a bad earnings. So I'd look to be buying around $7 and $8. And on the upside, I'll be looking at where the resistance is up here, which would be around $13. And then the next main one is around $18. Even on very good news, I don't think we'll hit $18, but on a good beat, I think $13 or close to around $14, just below $14 is possible. So I'll be keeping an eye on those two levels first of all. So if it's a miss, I'll be looking at $7 to $8. If it's a beat, I'll be looking at $13. If it's a slight beat, then I'll be looking at $12. If it's a slight miss, then maybe I'll be looking closer to $8.
Hit the like button, everyone. We've got almost 400 people watching. We got only 85 likes. If you don't hit the like button, I'm not going to show the shareholders letter. Come on. It's just lazy. 85 people liking.
Something like that. I'm just going to quickly check, make sure nothing major happened in the after hours trading on Friday, and no, it didn't. So we are currently sat at or slightly below the support at $10. I think that's quite a key level. If you're above $10, then I'll be targeting $11, $13. If you fail to hold $10, then I'll be targeting $7 to $8. It has been an interesting journey, because ever since you broke $10, you haven't really had massive follow through. Where you have, when you look at something like Joby, I'm pretty sure when you broke through, you look at Joby, it broke through $10. They were both around the same mark, and you can see the follow through that Joby had. It went from $10 to $16 to $20. ACHR is not showing the same amount of strength that something like Joby is showing. So that does put me on a back foot a little bit, where I do expect that it's more likely we see some more downside on ACHR towards $7. It's certainly a real possibility. However, if $10 holds, then $14 is next. Either way, Archer certainly is in a medium to long-term uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. I do think Archer will eventually head to $20, and whether that means it goes back down to $7 first, or it's already found its next low at $10. I do think $14 and $18 will be in the cards, because what I do see when you're looking at it on a longer term time frame, for example, if we go to the weekly time frame, all I'm seeing on this chart is higher highs and higher lows. Ever since it IPO'd and went down into its downtrend and it capitulated, ever since what we've been seeing is higher lows and higher highs. So that is what I'm seeing on Archer, and I think that trend will continue where you've got these higher highs and higher lows. So that's why I say eventually you'll hit $18. Just in the meantime, right now, that the strength doesn't seem to be there, because you're stagnating out between $10 and $13. So it's a real possibility you come and test $7 and possibly even $5 in a really bad case scenario. But if you hold $10, then $13 is next. I guess the main point, especially if you're watching this around the earnings before or after, if it's a good earnings, if it's a slight beat, then $12 is expected. If it's quite a nice beat, then $14 is certainly the target. If it's a slight miss or some bad news has come out, then I'll be looking around the $7 to $8 mark. In the longer term time frame, I'm looking at all-time highs around $18, but I'm also aware that $7 to $5, if the downtrend starts coming to place, is an area where a higher low could be moving in. But the overall trend is towards the upside, and I like to take advantage of any major moves within a earnings as well. So the link to the earnings will be there.
Thank you everyone for hitting the like button. This wasn't threatening you. I was just asking you for something in return, because if we hit 100 likes, which we just did, thank you very much. Thank you everyone. YouTube will start promoting it, and the more people will come, and the more you can share your opinions, your news, the more people will know about this stock, about this company. And the more people know about this company, the more people find it attractive, and maybe the more people will start buying it. There we go. And the more people know about evtols, the more the public will accept this new concept, this new technology. So we are doing favor to this new sector. Thank you everyone for joining and for hitting and smashing the like button. Right, we had the reaction. I just got numbers. Miss negative 20. Negative 0.20 or 20 cents was expected, and we got actual 0.36. That could be on the back of the dilution about a month ago. We had $850 million raising. Right, the newsletter. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the newsletter. What we've got here. We've got about 38 minutes before the webcast starts. And then I'll get quiet and we'll be listening to the ACHR Aviation CEO, Adam Goldstein, what news he's telling us. Let me zoom this in a bit. We've got aircraft manufacturing ramps with production certificate well underway. We are concurrently producing 6 Midnight aircraft, 3 of which are in final assembly across our facilities. We are building these across our golden manufacturing line in Silicon Valley and our high-volume facility in Georgia. In parallel, the FAA continued conducting reviews and inspections on our manufacturing operations as part of our production certificate efforts. We would like to see some quantification. Joby, their main competitor, they have a nice chart which is showing their progress in all 5 stages. ACHR have been very vague on this, so hopefully we will hear some more guidance on the call. Los Angeles 28 Olympics and White House executive order advance US launch plans. Yes, massive news for the whole sector as well. The FAA news and new rules. The LA 28 Olympic Games selected ACHR as its official air taxi provider, helping align our federal and local stakeholders around achieving our goal of FAA type certification and scaled operations of Midnight. To enable this, we partnered with the US Department of Transportation, the FAA, and the White House on an executive order in June 2025 to promote American dominance in evtol aircraft and create a presidential mandate for early US deployments as soon as next year. Let's see what the chart is doing. $9.20. $9.20. Volume is not the highest either. So let's see what the call is going to bring us and if we get some positive reaction. United Arab Emirates launch edition takes flight. We signed definitive agreements with our partners, Abu Dhabi Aviation and the Abu Dhabi Investment Office, to activate our first of several planned launch edition programs globally. As part of this, we delivered our first Midnight aircraft to the United Arab Emirates, commenced our flight test program in Abu Dhabi and expected initial commercial payments later this year. Good, so we are getting some revenue coming. That's great. We have actually this great video of the first flight in the Mid East in Abu Dhabi. You can see that test aircraft, remotely controlled, unpiloted, November 302 Alpha Xavier. First flight in Abu Dhabi about 5-6 weeks ago. Great news. First time international flight by ACHR Aviation as well. And that means that ACHR have commenced and kicked off their Mid East venture. What's happening more? We got more updates in the newsletter. Accelerated defense program with 2 strategic acquisitions. This is what we have been waiting for. There's been a lot of hype. Well, there's been more than a lot of hype. Adam Goldstein announced about 2 weeks ago that ACHR might be shifting more towards the defense sector. And it is. Let's see what we can hear on the call. ACHR Defense is seeing strong demand from 4 of the major allied defense programs worldwide. 4 of the major allied defense programs worldwide. Wow, that's some bold statement. In an effort to accelerate our path to market, during the quarter, we made 2 strategic acquisitions, a patent or patent portfolio and critical talent from over-air, and specialized defense composite manufacturing assets from Mission Critical Composites in Southern California. So these are some great news. Let's see if we have some bad news and if we have some less pleasant updates. All right, this will be the original. You can see the aircraft being assembled. This will be probably the original production facility. This is not the ARC in Georgia, but we can see the aircraft is there on the shop floor being assembled. Great news. That means whether this is a testing aircraft or whether this is potentially the final product for the United Arab Emirates, this could mean revenue. And there we go, Covington, Georgia, ramping up manufacturing capabilities. We can see at least 2 aircraft being assembled in there. That's some great news. Finally, we can see some update on the ARC construction facility in Georgia. Ramping up manufacturing capabilities, engine and battery lines in Silicon Valley. That's great news as well. A Los Angeles partnership. We will hear a lot about that. I can't wait. There'll be a lot of updates on this on the call. This is the network, proposed network down here. Sponsorship, not only the main event, Los Angeles 28 Olympic Games, Summer Olympic Games. ACHR also are partnering with Team USA, the official partner of both the Olympics and the Paralympics teams. White House executive order charts clear pathway for US launch. Definitely we will hear good news on this. It's massive news for the whole sector, not only for ACHR, for Joby, for all American manufacturers and also for all imported eVTOLs into the United States as well, because the infrastructure will be ready for the aircraft, for the eVTOL just to plug it in. That's great news. We also know we have new air traffic control being developed and being worked on. So this will be part of this. The United Arab Emirates flight test program, launch partners, operations training. We'll definitely hear some more updates. This is the photo, the actual photo from the first flight. And I didn't finish this video, so let's have a look at the actual first flight. Let me play it again. Let me play it again for you. And we can talk over it and about it. And I can see a little tab, ACHR defense. Bear with me, we will look through this video and we will see if we got any updates. Events, upcoming events. Tomorrow, Canaccord Security, 45th Annual Growth Conference, live from Boston. I've got a webcast and I will be broadcasting this live on this channel. I don't know if I will be with you for the length of the event, but I will make sure you will not miss ACHR. ACHR will be talking, I will be giving more updates. Oh, I've just switched the scenes in the most. let me rewind this. Okay, you can see the first ever international flight of ACHR Aviation in Abu Dhabi. You can see the airspace regulatory authorities, and there was the man in the dark suit was Nikhil Goel, friend of our network, believe it or not. I just lost it. Second man in charge. That's him, Nikhil, friend of our network. Right. Tomorrow, Canaccord 45th Annual Growth Conference. We will hear a lot of updates, not only from ACHR. There'll be a lot of emerging companies. There will be, I think Joby is in there as well. So I'll be bringing you this. I'm not sure if I'll be covering JP Morgan Autos conference, but again, ACHR Aviation will be talking there. It's the CEO, Adam Goldstein, will be talking there. So I will try to find some time and get this to you. What else we've got? 14th Annual Needham Industrial Tech and Clean Tech Conference. Needham Transportation Conference. Deutsche Bank 15th Annual Aviation Forum. September, 8th of September, H.C. Wainwright, 27th Annual Global Investment Conference, and September 9th till 11th Global Aerospace Summit. Well, one thing is clear. I won't be covering the Global Aerospace Summit because there will be only one event. There'll be two more events this year I'll be traveling to. I've been to the Paris Air Show. I brought you ACHR Aviation live on this channel. I brought you ACHR Aviation Midnight live on our special show, right from the grounds of Paris. I have two more events scheduled. I've been to the Royal International Air Tattoo as well, the biggest military air show in Europe, if not in the world. And I brought you some great content of one of their competitors, Vertical Aerospace. Probably the most complex and comprehensive interview in terms of the aircraft. Thanks for the heads up for the chat. It's now picking up. Let's see what the reaction is going to be on the call. So we talked with Vertical Aerospace. I brought you the most comprehensive and most complex interview in terms of information contained about the aircraft. You can find it on our channel. I will probably pop the link in there later. It's similar aircraft. It's one of their competitors. Yes, ACHR and Joby are the market leaders, but also there are some great companies that will come out in the second wave around 2028. And we are covering Vertical Aerospace very closely, regularly, because we can see great potential. Vertical Aerospace actually beat ACHR. I know this is ACHR's earnings score event, and I'm talking about Vertical Aerospace, but Vertical Aerospace actually managed to beat ACHR to the first piloted CTOL flight. So this could be interesting stock for you as well, or company. But I won't be traveling anymore. I've got one more event in London, and then I've got one big event at the end of the year. That will be the last quarter, and I'll keep this quiet for now, but I'll be traveling to the biggest event of the year for the evtolls. However, all these events, while I'm talking about it, tomorrow, Canaccord 45th Annual Growth Conference, live on this channel. Look out. There'll be a live event. I'll be bringing the webcast to you. Adam Goldstein will be talking more than likely about the defense. There'll be more updates. from what you could hear, or to what you could hear on this call. JP Morgan, I will try to cover this for you, and I will try to bring you as much as I can. Hopefully August the 18th, 14th annual Needham Industrial and Tech Clean Tech Conference. Again, I will try to cover this to you, for you, bring it to you. So stay tuned, keep your eyes closed. I will also, if you wanna stay in touch with me, definitely subscribe to this channel, because we bring you the evtols and the advanced air mobility regularly. But if you wanna be in touch with me closely, my X is at evtol hub. The handle is evtolhub. Usually when something happens, I'm there amongst the first ones. Sometimes I happen to be even first, like Vertical Aerospace and their first piloted flight. I was there before Vertical actually announced it a few days before. So if you want to follow me, I'll just pop it in the chat. I'm four followers away from 1200. So if you want to keep in touch, and up to date with the news, definitely follow me, and I'll be giving you updates on these events as well. Right, what is the stock doing? 940. So we have slight recovery. Let's see what's going to happen on the call. Let me just go down to the financial side, and then we will focus on your questions. You have some, I can see you have some questions in the chat. If you have any more questions, just fire them away, and I will then give you an opportunity to win $1,000 as well, to get $1,000 in XRP. Because I could see you were saying yes in the chat, so I will, bear with me. We have about 23 minutes before the webcast starts. You can see the financial review on here. Let me just check if I have access to the stream already, to the webcast. Not yet. That's fine. So, total operating expenses, $178 million. That is a lot. That is great increase from the previous quarter. The previous quarter, 144. That is a lot. However, the business is scaling up. We are now starting a new venture on another continent, pretty much, in other country. So it could be logistically challenging, the ramp up. We are already producing half a dozen of aircraft, so this could be contained within the increase. It does not necessarily have to be bad news. This could be natural growth and upscaling of the business. Net loss, 206 million. Previous quarter, 93.4. I could imagine in the previous quarter there could be some deposits for the ACHR launch edition. What else we've got here? Non-GAAP total operational expenses, slight increase. It's not as drastic as the total operational expenses. Adjusted EBITDA increase again, and cash equivalent. We've got $700 more than we had on the previous quarter. That's some good news. So with this, doing quick maths, if the operational expenses, they will increase naturally. But if we stay with the same operational expenses, we can burn through this cash for another 9 or 10 quarters. Obviously, the expenses will go up, but also we are coming closer to the revenue phase. So we are still in pre-revenue phase, but we are coming closer and closer to the revenue phase. What else we've got here? Total operational expenses. We will hear about this from probably the Chief Financial Officer. Third quarter estimates. We anticipate adjusted EBITDA to be a loss of 110 million or 130 million to 130 million to the third quarter of 2025. So currently we've got 118, and we are expecting similar range. That is some good news. Do we have any more guidance? Significant impact future gap. Right, no more guidance. Here is more details of the consolidated balance sheet. I will leave it on the screen. You can read through it. I will just catch up with some technical production things in here. The webcast is not ready yet. Thank you everyone for joining. The actual call will be starting in about 20 minutes. Let me quickly pop the chart up for you. We got slight recovery from that big sell-off. We went all the way down to 875, 880, and now we are recovering. But again, that can change on the call. That can change on the call. Let me bring the balance sheet back up again, and you can have a look. And I will just catch up with some technical production stuff in here. Right, we don't have the webcast yet. Let me see if we have any questions. I'll give you the giveaway, and then we will have a look at the chat. So I'm just quickly catching up with the beginning of the show. If we had any questions or anything important, let me scroll down so you can see more info. Right, yeah, we had some reaction to the sell-off. That's fine. ACHR always sells off on the earnings call. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This could be better entry opportunity for yourselves if ACHR sells off. So don't see it as a bad thing. ACHR is here for a long ride. Right. Let me give you. Let's have a look further down. Statement of operations. So here's some more financial data. Research and development. We are obviously that there's an increase. That's natural because the business is scaling up. General and administrative. Again, natural growth year over year. Total operating expenses. Again, we are scaling up. We are starting our production very slowly, but we are ramping up. That's great. That's some great news. This was probably the best news we could hear on the call, to be fair. Loss from operations, yeah. Other income, expense, net. Yeah, that could be anything in there. That could be marketing. That could be whatever. Interest income. A loss before income taxes. Right. What else we've got here? Got some more news. Net loss, 6 months, ended June the 30th. This is quite interesting because the year over year for the first half of last year and first half of this year has not too dramatic difference. That's great. That's about what? 20-30%? That's good. Right, I will leave this on the screen. I'm not reading through every single item. Thank you everyone for joining. I can see just some more people coming in. We are covering ACHR Aviation, the second quarter 2025 earnings call, the biggest live event in the evtol market, on the evtol scene of this quarter. The webcast is about to start in 15-18 minutes. We are now going through the shareholders letter. We see the financial situation. GAAP and non-GAAP reconciliation. So again, quarter over quarter from last year comparison is about 20% increase. Stellantis warrant expense. There's nothing from Stellantis. I'm definitely looking out for an update on Stellantis because they didn't have very good quarter. They have faced 2.3 billion euros in losses, and they are shifting their business towards hybrid and electric hybrid engines for their cars. So there might be some headwinds, financial headwinds from Stellantis as well. 3 months ended. Yeah, net loss. Right. Adjusted EBITDA. There's not a massive difference in that. That's great. What else we've got there? Reconciliation comments. Okay. And that's it. So we are about 15 minutes away from the actual earnings call. I'm keeping my eye on the webcast. Let's see what the chart is doing. And I'll bring you the giveaway. The address is martynlukas.com/giveaway. I'm now popping it in the chat. It's coming from me, Vaz at Vaz28. That's me. What is happening here? Well, we are celebrating. Massive milestone coming to our channel and to our network. We are 5,000 followers away from 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. We want to celebrate this with you, and we are giving you a chance to win to get $1,000 in our giveaway. How to take part, how to get $1,000 in the giveaway. Well, go to the website martynlucas.com/giveaway, and the webcast is live. So let me just play the music, mute it, and that means we will be starting probably on time. So this is go there, martynlucas.com/giveaway, and then you enter here. I'm not entering because I don't want to be diluting your opportunities, but you have various chances, various ways how to claim your tickets. There are certain actions. It's following Martyn on X, following me on X. Most of you have come here through X. I know it. I know I can see the names. I can see a lot of people in the chat. They came here through X and are my followers on X. And if you didn't know about this giveaway, as you already have like 100 tickets claiming because you follow me on X, and you just go there and claim it. So then you follow Martyn, you get another 100. You repost this post I did for ACHR Aviation, this thread. I think it was probably the best one I've ever done. Look, nearly 4,500 views, 101 shares. This was one of the actions, and you could claim, I think, 150 tickets just for sharing a post on X. It's that easy. So definitely go there, martynlucas.com/giveaway, and go for it. Here is the webcast. You can see it's online. That's playing music. I can't play the music because of copyright, but I'm listening to the music. I've got it muted in the output. Right, what we've got in the chat. Let's see if we have any questions. Insider selling, possibly. What is the chart doing? It's consolidating. Is it the word? It's definitely recovered from the initial reaction, but again, it could fall on its bottom. So don't be surprised if we have negative reaction and a sell-off. It's tanking, yes. We could hit 95,000 subs on this show. Yes, Martyn, yes, I agree. A couple of big players just dumped. ACHR Aviation's high-volume manufacturing facility, ARC, is located in Covington Municipality. Yes. What is going on? Literally, I can see the numbers and it dropping. Yes. Again, reaction, loss, miss as well on the earnings per share. Negative 20 cents was the forecast. We've got negative 36. What we've got here. Do we have any questions? If you have any questions, just chuck them in the chat. Throw them at me. We are starting in about 12-15 minutes. We usually start a few minutes late with the webcast, but I've got it online. The music is playing. When November 704 AX flies VTOL piloted, the lid will fly off the price. There will be a reaction. There will be a positive reaction, but I'm not sure if it will really go through the roof. I've been in the Covington, Georgia factory 3 times. It's fully tooled. Employee training is consuming majority of man hours. D. Herman 001. Reach out to me on X. You could see it. The handle is at evtol hub. Message me on X. I want to talk to you. On that. That's great news. Thank you very much for joining and letting us know. Yes, we got 100 likes. I was muted. Yes, apologies. I don't know what happened in there. You can hear me now. That's great. $1.7 billion in reserves. Yes, hit the like button, people. Help them out. Thank you very much. Yeah, the main point was I wasn't begging. I was just trying to push this through. If we get 100 likes, YouTube then promotes it, and the more people can see it. I've been working hard for last days, and this is my little reward and appreciation from you if you hit the like button. Thank you very much. What we've got there. Last time I bought at 4. Yeah, I remember that time when I was buying ACHR at 4 and 6. I don't think we're gonna be buying it at 6, but again, if we have negative reaction, we could be buying sub $9. Not bad price. And Herman sees 11 at 11 a.m. morning, $11. Let's see. Close the chat then. Yeah, similar to the Joby. Yeah, these companies are in pre-revenue phase. It's really the earnings per share. Is it a valid indicator for a company which is in pre-revenue, going through R&D, going through financial offering or fundraisings? I don't know. Is it a relevant indicator? To me, is more the balance sheet and the operational costs. Vaz reminds me of Seaman in the movie Joe. Thank you, Songs for Space. My question, David H, was voted the number one question of the... Oh yes, questions. Yes, I will bring this up shortly. Yes, thank you for reminding me. We got a screen change on the webcast. That's good. That's some good sign. We are about 10 minutes away from the webcast to start. Pump. We are not pumping. We are... I think we will end up the day with sell-off. And tomorrow, I think we'll be buying around $9. But let's see. Defense products require little, if any, FAA certification. This makes for fast revenue. Yes. Herman, reach out to me on X, please. I want to talk to you. What else we've got here? Martyn asked if we want to keep doing giveaways. Yeah, unless it's covered at the end of the stream. Well, I just did it. It didn't take long. I will talk about it at the end of the stream. Don't worry. It didn't take long. ACHR pumping up and pumping and not pumping. Drixig is holding till $14. That's great. 160. I love it. Thank you very much. How many likes do we have now? 180. Thank you very much. I can't ask for more. There's more than half of people watching. Chief Operational Officer Nikhil Goel. Thank you very much. Thank you for helping me. Show chart. Yeah, that was a few minutes ago. That was the reaction. That was the miss guidance, -0.20, -0.20, and the actual earnings per share was negative 36 cents. Eve, I can give you some news and updates on Eve. We had good earnings from Eve as well, but again, pre-revenue. They're not flying their aircraft yet. They are expecting to fly their aircraft in December, end of the year. So again, that could be a very long ride, actually longer than ACHR. What we've got, do we have any questions? Not a bad ramp up. Yes, I agree. Half a dozen of aircraft. That's great. And we've got comparison as well. Thank you for that. We just went live on to the XRP army to support you here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me. Yeah, I love it. We've got great audience. We've got much bigger audience on than for the first quarter. This is great. Bear with me. The webcast is about 8 minutes away to start. I will go to the Q&A section as well. ACHR market cap 6 billion versus Joby 14.6 billion. 8.56 billion advantage. ACHR MC, what is it? MC 41% market cap, 41% of Joby. ACHR $23.05 to match Joby market cap. Good comparison. Thanks for that. Yeah, 202 likes. Woo! Thank you very much. That's great. Consolidating rather than falling after the earnings is actually good news. Well, we will see. We will see if it's a good news, if it's not. So definitely, if you want to keep in touch. What was I predicting? Let's see what was I predicting in here on my X, and then we'll get to the Q&A, and then we are about 7 minutes away from starting the webcast when we hear Adam Goldstein, the CEO of ACHR Aviation. So this is not just this isn't just another earnings call. Historically, they move the market. Yes, you got link in here. I do a lot of these on my X. I do a lot of threads. So if you like them, if you like this information, there's not too much to read. Actually, it's literally 2-3 lines in each subtweet. So it's so easy to read, and the most important information is in there for you. So this is the main tweet, and then you can see the subtweets. What we've got here. At November 704 AX, the aircraft we have been waiting for. Hopefully we will hear some guidance or timeline on the piloted CTOL flight. Something is going on on the webcast. It's loading the event. I think we will have a presentation. We still have music coming through. I think we will have a live presentation as well with slides, which is good. Yeah, we are expecting some guidance and update on the November 704 AX, which is believed to be fully piloted, fully transitional aircraft. You voted, and you could see ACHR going through the roof. Well, let's see. Excuse me. Let's see if it's actually happening or not. 66%. Good sentiment. ACHR defense pivot. Adam Goldstein is not playing small ball. We have the US Air Force contract. We have Anduril and Palantir on the sideline. Well, not on the sideline. They are working with ACHR. And we have something which potentially could be one of the prototypes being developed with Anduril. Just a little teaser for you as well. The 2 billion question. Yeah, definitely we got update, and now we know the clear runway. We know that with the current operational expenses, we are well fueled for another 8, 9, 10 quarters. Obviously the cost will go up, but also we are coming closer to the revenue phase. So I think ACHR are currently in fairly safe position. And we got update on the Covington in Georgia as well. That's great. We got some move on the slides. No, nothing is happening yet. Right. Chart is waiting. That's good. Los Angeles and New York City will be the first adapting markets in the United States. I was expecting to get new network announcement, and my pitch was Seattle or Chicago. Didn't happen. Los Angeles 2028 Olympics. Definitely there will be big update on this. And Mid-East rollout and Dubai vertiports again, and Abu Dhabi vertiports. The risks, certification delays. Yeah, if we don't get if we don't get confidence indication on the progress, we could see some negative reaction of the certification. Stellantis facing 2.3 billion euros losses and tariff headwinds. Again, this is something that could be not in favor of the production ramp up. Civil rollout could slip behind defense priorities. Yes. Why this call matters? Well, we will have hopefully some more indication on the pivot towards the defense and what it means for the business. We know the financial situation is fairly safe now. We know more aircraft is coming. That's some great news. We want to see update on the FAA certification, and we want definitely some more guidance on the civil sector. Let me check the questions, the Q&A. ACHR Aviation Q&A. ACHR did this the last quarter, and it was fairly successful. What ACHR are doing now? They are asking you, the retail investors and fans, supporters, you name it, and enthusiasts, that's the word, enthusiasts, to submit your questions. So if you want to know anything, and it's David, it's D Herman 001. So what we've got from you, what are key milestones and estimate dates remaining for final certification to allow for US domestic operation of the amazing Midnight? Yes, definitely. Can I upvote? No, I can't. Sorry. I tried. But you are first anyway. Yeah, definitely. We want to hear some updates on this. Again, second question, FAA certification. Third question, any more news about ACHR Defense? What are your guys' plans with Anduril? Question number 4, potentially being answered on the call. When will we see mass production? I think we will get some indication on this call. How do you see competing with Joby in the near term? And can you I don't think they'll be commenting on this because Joby are currently miles ahead. I'm not saying ACHR cannot keep up, but they are probably not in the best position. And if they answered realistically, that could possibly hurt them on this call. So I would be just careful. Do we have any? David Herman, are you on X? Can you reach out to me and message me on my X, please? I want to talk to you because you got some great news and some good information I would like to talk about. Please reach out to me on my X. I would definitely love to talk to you. Right, the chart is consolidating. We are about a minute away. We are literally a minute away. This is up and running. Let me pop this up to the top screen because I've got better overlay here. There we go. Oh, let me do it this way so you can't see me playing about with my windows. There we go. That's much better. If we have a presentation, we should see it.
Attending today's ACHR Aviation Q2 2025 financial results conference call. My name is Tamia, and I'll be the moderator for today's call. All lines will be muted during the presentation portion of the call with an opportunity for questions and answers at the end. If you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. I'd now like to pass it over to Eric Lintel. Please go ahead.
Thanks for joining ACHR's earnings call. This is Eric Lintel, ACHR's Chief Legal and Strategy Officer. During the call, we will be making forward-looking statements. These statements are based on assumptions as of today, and we do not undertake any obligation to update them as a result of new information or future events. There are risks and uncertainties that may cause our actual results to differ materially from those contemplated by the statements. For more information about these risks and uncertainties, review the risk factors in our SEC filings. We will also be discussing both GAAP and non-GAAP financial measures on the call. A reconciliation of those financial measures is included in our shareholder letter and earnings release from today. And now I'll turn it over to Adam. Adam?
Thanks, Eric. We are living through the reindustrialization of America. Just 10 years ago, the best and brightest minds in the country were building SaaS products, marketplaces, and consumer electronics. Now think of what's going on today. We are building flying cars, modular reactors, and autonomous fighter jets. The new heroes of today aren't influencers, they're builders. People like Palmer Luckey, Alex Karp, and Zuck. If you're listening to this while trading on Robinhood or doom-scrolling Reddit, I would encourage you to put your phone down, pick up a tool belt, and come build a future world with us and others out there doing it. What a time to be alive. All right, let's dive in. This quarter, we made some tremendous strides in ramping our manufacturing, which we highlighted in our shareholder letter today. First, I want to step back to talk about how unprecedented the level of support is for our sector within the highest levels of the U.S. government. There has been a clear shift in our industry from ambition to execution, focused on scaling commercial air taxi operations in the U.S. and select forward-leaning cities around the world. First, there were multiple presidential executive orders directing an imperative for U.S. leadership in advanced aviation. Second, showcasing air taxis at the 2028 LA Olympics was made a national priority. And third, there was a series of unprecedented changes to FAA rules that will help unlock near-term commercial ops in the U.S. Just a few weeks ago, I was in D.C. meeting with Vice President J.D. Vance, FAA and DOT leadership, and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. I left more convinced than ever. This is the most coordinated national effort in modern aviation history. My message to them was simple. ACHR is committed to furthering America's lead in advanced aviation by building and deploying evtol and supporting that innovation globally. The Olympics mandate has become a national stage to showcase air taxis at scale. 2 years ago, the FAA published its Innovate 28 roadmap for scaling evtol ops in American cities by 2028. Earlier this quarter, the LA 28 Olympics announced that they selected ACHR to be the official exclusive air taxi provider for the Games. And just last week, a new executive order established a White House task force personally led by President Trump and the Vice President to ensure maximum safety, secure borders, and world-class transportation at the 2028 LA Olympics. This level of commitment is allowing us to rally our infrastructure partners, supply chain, and the FAA around a national priority. Our existing infrastructure partners, including SoFi Stadium and USC, as well as new real estate groups, are working with us to prepare over a dozen evtol vertiports to support Archer operations. Our key suppliers are ramping production and component-level certification to align with our manufacturing scaling timelines. And the FAA is working closely with our teams to advance Midnight's certification to support our operational readiness. The executive order in June, crafted in partnership with the White House, DOT, and FAA, is the most significant federal action to date in the evtol sector. It establishes a national directive for American dominance in this industry and a presidential imperative to begin air taxi deployments in the U.S. as early as next year. These early operations will allow us to validate Midnight's performance, safety, and scalability in real-world conditions in advance of the games. But to make all of this a reality, we must quickly ramp manufacturing to support our certification programs and early commercial deployments. Tom will unpack the details, but here's the headline. We now have 6 more Midnight aircraft in various stages of production, with 3 of those in final assembly across our facilities. When those are complete, that will bring our Midnight fleet to a total of 8 aircraft. Each of those will carry our production 4-bladed rear propeller design and will either go directly into certification flight testing or early commercial deployment. Completion of these aircraft will bring our fleet to 8 Midnight aircraft. The capital we have deployed over the last few years to build out our test and manufacturing is now paying dividends. We are the only ones in the evtol sector capable of executing what we are doing today, using a golden line approach as a blueprint to scale our high-volume facility. If you remember, we began construction on our high-volume facility in Covington in early 2023. Our team built that in 2 years at a record pace, and no other company in the evtol sector has even started construction on a comparable facility. We are pacing the industry. And location matters too. The FAA's Atlanta Aircraft Certification Office manages our certification program, and our Covington site is located in a suburb on the eastern side of Atlanta. The proximity enables frequent on-site engagement as we work through our certification program. Further, we began working on our production certificate in January, and the FAA is conducting regular reviews and inspections with our team as we go through these early builds. The goal here is to ensure we are aligning the progression of our type certification with our production certificate so that we can ramp manufacturing as soon as we receive Midnight's type certification. This quarter, we also commenced the piloted flight phase of our flight test campaign. By design, we deliberately started with conventional takeoff and landing flights, as Midnight is uniquely capable of handling both vertical and conventional takeoff and landing as part of normal operations. In recent years, our flight test campaigns have predominantly focused on VTOL and transition to wingborne flight. As we eyed TIA later this year, it was essential to first work through the CTOL campaign. The good news is that we are rapidly progressing through the flight envelope, hardening the aircraft's ability to handle our expected commercial operations. For example, we've recently focused on flights in the 20 to 30 mile range, which are representative of many of our planned commercial operations. We also expanded our flight test program internationally with our first launch edition operations in the UAE, where we first focused on testing Midnight's performance in Abu Dhabi's extreme summer heat. This is important to validate Midnight's safety and reliability in high heat, high humidity conditions essential for regulatory approval and subsequent commercial operations across the region. We plan to deploy several of these early aircraft commercially under our Launch Edition program with strategic partners ahead of FAA type certification. We've announced 3 Launch Edition program partners so far, with the first being in the UAE, the second being in Ethiopia, and most recently, Indonesia. Demand from global operators and governments continue to grow. This summer, we signed definitive agreements with Abu Dhabi Aviation and the Abu Dhabi Investment Office and kicked off operations under our first Launch Edition program in the UAE. This unlocks a multi-year commercial partnership that I expect will generate tens of millions of dollars for Archer, with initial payments expected later this year. Let's run through some of the key activities from this launch program. Delivering our first Midnight aircraft and began flight testing with the GCAA in June. Deploying our first flight simulator with Etihad, which our teams will be using to build local readiness across pilot training. Converting existing aviation infrastructure into turnkey evtol vertiports in partnership with local stakeholders, including JetX, the UAE's leading FBO operator. Over the next several years, expect to see us continue to ready infrastructure, deliver additional Midnight aircraft to the region, and begin early exhibition flights with passengers ahead of more robust commercial operations under authorization from the GCAA. We also expanded Launch Edition into Asia, beginning with Indonesia, anchored by Jakarta, one of the world's fastest growing megacities, and Bali, a high-demand destination with limited access options. You can expect to see us both announce more global Launch Edition partners and continue to grow our multi-billion-dollar order book with the world's top governments and airlines. As we partner with the countries at the highest level of government, our growing commercial momentum is also attracting defense momentum. For over a century, every major conflict has been defined by a breakthrough in military technology. World War II introduced the fighter jet. The Gulf War showcased precision-guided munitions and stealth. Drones reshaped the war on terror. Today, the war in Ukraine is being fought in real time with unmanned systems and satellite-linked targeting. The next paradigm shift will be defined by advanced vertical lift. The U.S. and its allies, however, are still reliant on legacy platforms such as the Chinook and Black Hawk, expensive older technology from the 60s and 70s. But future conflicts will be won with low-cost, low-thermal, low-acoustic systems capable of rapidly moving through contested airspace without risking human pilots. Over the last 18 months, I've learned from the global defense industry that our customers demand a purpose-built system designed to stay relevant for decades. You cannot simply slap a heavy fuel powertrain onto an existing eVTOL design. I am confident that Archer's technology positions us at the forefront of that shift, delivering the speed, agility, and deployability modern militaries will require to win. To accelerate our progress, we completed 2 strategic acquisitions this quarter. First, we acquired a key patent portfolio and technical team from Overair, a Caram aircraft spinoff focused on advanced fixed-wing and rotary-wing platforms powered by high-efficiency tilt rotors. Second, we bought a supplier of specialized defense composite manufacturing capabilities in-house by acquiring a 60,000 square foot facility in Southern California from Mission Critical Composites. These moves continue to build our proprietary moat as we push to meet the demands of our growing defense pipeline. Following recent meetings in Washington with Secretary Hegseth and Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll, it's clear that Archer Defense is positioned to become a strategic pillar of our business. With over $1.7 billion in liquidity, we're not waiting on the future of aviation. We're building it now at global scale. This is what execution looks like. Over to Tom.
Thanks, Adam. The progress at Archer continues at an unprecedented pace. It's incredibly motivating to work with what I believe to be the best team in the world to turn the vision of advanced air mobility into an everyday reality across both commercial and defense. This past quarter, Benjamin Lyon also further integrated into his role as president, aircraft OEM, bringing decades of leadership experience from Apple and more recently as CTO at Aptiv. Partnering with Benjamin and the additional team members he has brought in has already meaningfully accelerated our progress across engineering, manufacturing, and certification. Since 2018, we've been relentlessly focused on finding the most efficient path to making urban air mobility a reality. We have worked tirelessly on the engineering front to ensure Archer leads the way in this new sector. We've outpaced the competition through a series of deliberate choices, from our design to our manufacturing build-out to our approach to certification and flight testing. Watching our chief test pilot, Jeff Greenwood, take Midnight to the skies this quarter marked a defining moment for our flight test program, as he stood on the shoulders of all that we've achieved over the last 7 years. This piloted phase of our program, like everything else we do, intentionally builds on years of safe, autonomous flight testing across our various aircraft platforms, which validated our proprietary 12-tilt-6 VTOL configuration. Here's how we got here and why I believe we're leading the industry with our pace of progress. I joined Archer in 2019 after spending nearly a decade working on this technology. With a small team of elite engineers, we went from a clean sheet to the first flight of our full-scale 12-tilt-6 eVTOL aircraft, Maker, in 2021. In 2022, less than a year later, we completed the full months-long transition test campaign on Maker, making Archer one of the first eVTOL companies to achieve that milestone. In parallel, we matured our production aircraft platform, Midnight, and it took flight in late 2023. Just 7 months later, in June 2024, Midnight became the largest eVTOL by gross weight to complete transition, an unmatched technical achievement. I have highlighted this point before and continue to do so because what I've learned from building more eVTOL aircraft across more programs than anyone else in the world over the last 15 years is that an aircraft of at least 6,000 pounds will be critical to being able to carry economically viable passenger payloads. Then, by fall 2024, we had already surpassed 400 test flights for the year, months ahead of schedule. Those flights demonstrated Midnight's ability to do high-rate operations and advanced landing profiles, validated acoustic performance, and demonstrated robustness to critical failures, all while optimizing Midnight's control laws. This pace set us up to achieve the 2 critical milestones Adam highlighted for our flight test program this quarter: flying Midnight with multiple pilots and commencing our first launch edition program by beginning international flights in Abu Dhabi. Let's dive deeper into both of those. Our inaugural piloted flight was flown by Jeff Greenwood, who has been at the helm of some of the industry's most pivotal flight test programs. When he landed after his first flight piloting Midnight, which hit speeds of 125 miles per hour and altitude of over 1,500 feet, I'll never forget his first comment. Midnight flew just like the simulator. And that's exactly what you want to hear for any test flight. This level of consistency isn't a coincidence. It's the product of our team's engineering and operational excellence, with unmatched attention to detail and dedication to safety. While we designed Midnight to fly predominantly vertical takeoff and landing operations, it's important that the initial phase of our piloted flight test program with Midnight focus on conventional takeoff and landing operations for 2 reasons. First, throughout Midnight's design and certification process, regulators, airlines, and defense customers have stressed that they need us to certify both VTOL and CTOL operations for operational flexibility and enhanced safety, as well as extended range for certain missions. Second, it's the most pragmatic, safe approach to flight testing. Our strategy has been to first validate Midnight's fixed-wing flight and conventional landing performance, and then return to focus on VTOL with pilots on board. In the back half of the year, we'll continue to ramp up the pace of piloted flight testing, rapidly expanding our performance envelope, and commencing piloted VTOL operations. In parallel, we plan to continue our international flight testing, which we kicked off in Abu Dhabi earlier this quarter as part of our launch edition programs. In early July, we flew Midnight at the Al Bateen Executive Airport, located in the heart of Abu Dhabi, with our local customer and partners under oversight from the national regulator, the GCAA. Our initial vertical takeoff and landing testing was focused on UAE-specific performance conditions, including high temperature, humidity, and dust exposure, as we work to ramp commercial operations in the country. Just to give you a sense of how critical and difficult the operating environment is there, after just a few minutes on the tarmac, internal components within Midnight's avionics bay for one flight heated to just over 140 degrees Fahrenheit immediately before takeoff. We are building Midnight to operate safely at these temperatures, and it was rewarding to test our performance across these more challenging conditions. Over the coming quarters in the UAE, you can expect that we will expand on our in-country operations, including pilot training, MRO setup, and flight testing, all in support of gathering additional data to inform our certification and commercialization plans in both the UAE and the US. As Adam mentioned, we announced today that we are currently producing 6 Midnight aircraft, 3 of which are in final assembly across our facilities. Each of those aircraft will feature our production 4-blade rear propeller and will go directly into vertical takeoff and landing flight testing. We are building these across our facilities in both Silicon Valley and Georgia. We continue to be focused on developing the capabilities required to achieve a rate of 50 aircraft per year across our nearly 750,000 square feet of manufacturing and test facilities. During this new product introduction phase of our Midnight program, we are starting with our Golden manufacturing line at one of our Silicon Valley facilities. This pilot line is where our engineering and manufacturing teams work together to refine the build process and equipment to ensure we can build the aircraft efficiently with high quality. We then leverage this playbook developed in California, along with all of the lessons learned in the ramp of our high-volume manufacturing operations in Georgia. In the early months of our operations at Georgia, we have focused on dialing in the manufacturing processes related to Midnight's fuselage, as this is the core part of the aircraft where the majority of the aircraft systems are installed. All of this flight testing and manufacturing progress is enabling the continued rapid advancement of our Midnight certification programs with the FAA in the US and the GCAA in the UAE. On the FAA certification front, as we've discussed on our most recent calls, we are primarily focused on the 4th and final phase of Midnight's certification program, with the FAA having now approved about 15% of our compliance verification documents. The executive order that Adam mentioned, along with our quickly advancing piloted flight test campaign, have meaningfully accelerated our progress with the FAA. Over the past few months, we have successfully completed several SOI 3 audits, including one for our in-house developed powertrain software and hardware. These SOI 3 audits cover software testing and verification and are the penultimate step before the final certification review at SOI 4. On the airframe certification side, we have now completed all of the composite material coupon testing for certifying Midnight's primary structure. This data from over 2,000 individual tests is in hand, and certification test reports are now being finalized to provide to the FAA. This past quarter, we have also taken several steps aligning with the FAA on TIA entrance criteria and execution plans as we approach this next key phase of Midnight certification. As has been our plan all along, we have agreed with the FAA to have multiple TIAs on the program, each targeting a specific system or set of systems in order to efficiently move through the work as certification test data for each area is matured in parallel. We believe our rigorous and collaborative approach with the FAA is setting the standard for the industry. In the UAE, we delivered Midnight to Abu Dhabi and commenced flight testing in the region, advancing our relationship with the GCAA. Over the coming months, we will continue our flight test campaign in the country as we work closely with the regulators to receive authorization for commercial flights ahead of FAA certification. Finally, let's discuss our progress on the defense side of the house. We are rapidly maturing the design of our new hybrid electric aircraft. While I can't share details on the mission parameters or aircraft requirements due to the sensitive nature of the development, what I can share is that we are focused on building a revolutionary aircraft, not simply a hybridized version of an evtol. That's why we made 2 strategic acquisitions in this space over the last few months. Just a few days ago, we highlighted 2 of those, Overair and Mission Critical Composites. We acquired Overair's patent portfolio and hired critical employees from Overair, a spin-off of Karam Aircraft, founded by Abe Karam, who invented the Predator drone and is regarded as the founding father of drone technology, with decades of experience with DARPA and the DoD. We believe this technology will accelerate our path to market with our defense aircraft and can also be utilized in future commercial variants of Midnight. We also acquired key manufacturing assets and a roughly 60,000 square foot defense specialized composite manufacturing facility from Mission Critical Composites in Southern California. These assets bring core composite fabrication capabilities in-house, supporting our defense program needs for rapid prototyping and iteration. Momentum is strong on the defense platform. We're excited about the path ahead, and we'll continue to share more details in the back half of this year. And now we'll turn it over to Priya to talk about the financials for the quarter.
Thanks, Adam and Tom, for the strategic insights. I'm pleased to share our record financial results for the quarter. As Adam mentioned earlier, Q2 is a pivotal quarter for Archer. We have strong momentum across all our planned lines of business, across civil and defense and domestic and international. We're capitalizing on significant tailwinds, all while maintaining our unwavering focus on operational execution and market entry. We closed Q2 25 with $1.7 billion in cash and cash equivalents, marking our fourth consecutive quarter of record liquidity, and means we have almost twice as much cash on hand as our next competitor in the sector. This was all made possible thanks to our successful capital raise strategy that we've executed on over the last 2 years, including the completion of our $850 million financing in June. Our ability to raise capital in the manner we have to ensure we maintain a strong balance sheet demonstrates the institutional confidence in our strategy and our ability to execute. Despite the strength of our balance sheet, we continue to maintain our disciplined approach to capital allocation, strategically investing in the initiatives that matter most. Our financial results for Q2 25 were in line with guidance and represent the investments made across key priorities we have highlighted over our last few calls. Rapidly advancing our piloted Midnight Air Taxi through early commercial deployment and certification in the US and UAE, ramping our aircraft manufacturing capabilities, accelerating the development of our defense aircraft, and maturing our AI software platform approach. Our net loss for Q2 25 was $206 million, and our net loss per share was 36 cents. This included approximately $92 million of non-cash charges associated with stock-based compensation and warrant revaluation. Excluding these non-cash charges, our adjusted net loss for Q2 25 was $114 million, and our adjusted net loss per share was approximately 20 cents. Our adjusted EBITDA for Q2 was a loss of $119 million, falling within our guided range of $100 to $120 million. This represents an approximately $10 million increase from the previous quarter, reflecting planned investments, primarily in people-related costs, to support our key priorities. Our GAAP operating expenses for Q2 25 were $176 million. It included approximately $52 million of non-cash stock-based compensation-related expenses, which reflects the costs associated with stock issued to our employees, non-employees, and vendors. GAAP operating expenses increased $32 million quarter-over-quarter, primarily due to the increase in people-related costs mentioned earlier, which reflects our accelerated progress in manufacturing, certification, and other initiatives such as defense. With regards to cash burn, our cash used in operating and investing activities for Q2 25 was $127 million. For Q2, our cash used in investing activities was $24 million, and in line with the guidance I provided in the last call. It represents an increase of $14 million over the previous quarter, reflecting strategic areas of investment in the quarter, such as the acquisition of the MCC Composites manufacturing-related assets, the over-air patent portfolio for the defense program, and aircraft material-related purchases. As I touched on earlier, but I do think it bears repeating, even with these investments, our quarter-end cash position was at record levels, with an increase of $694 million compared to Q1 25, and more than quadrupled year over year. Notably, this marks our fourth consecutive quarter of simultaneously growing our cash reserves while executing on strategic business objectives. Looking ahead, our priorities for the quarter will continue into the second half of 2025. You can also expect that we will continue to invest in the bring-up of our operational footprint in UAE to execute on our launch edition and certification plans there. And we expect our UAE launch edition to start generating cash inflows later this year. We will also continue to invest in ramping our manufacturing capacity and supply chain capabilities across both Archer and key vendor facilities, all in support of our plan to ramp commercial air taxi operations for LA28. As a result, for the upcoming quarter, we estimate our adjusted EBITDA loss to be between $110 and $130 million. We estimate CapEx in Q3 25 to remain at similar levels as Q2 as we continue to build aircraft and expand investments in tooling and in equipment. Archer continues to be laser-focused on executing on the most efficient path to market with a diversified business model across commercial air taxis, defense, and software. We believe our investments to date in top-tier talent, leading technology, manufacturing and supply chain capabilities, and strategic partnerships are helping us establish a competitive moat that will deliver long-term shareholder value. With that, I'll turn it back over to Adam for Q&A.
This is the most important part.
Thanks, Priya.
Don't go anywhere.
We're going to take our first
when
question
we finish
from
this,
retail.
I'll give you my final
That
thoughts.
Is, when will we
wrap
see
it up.
mass
we'll have a look
production?
We'll have a look at the chart.
Yeah, so
and you can have your say as well.
Really, when we think about mass production, we think about two different things. First is how to build the aircraft, how to actually put them together, and then second, where to deploy them. So one big change that happened for us over the last quarter was codifying this new goal for us to be at scale at the Olympics. And that's what we're building towards today. So as we touched on in the call, there's really two phases of manufacturing that we think about. The first is building on our Golden Line in California. That's where our engineering and manufacturing teams work together to refine the process that we use to build the airplane, refine our overall production system, reduce labor hours, gain all these learnings that we can then apply in Georgia at scale. And that's what we're in the process of doing right now. So as you can see in our shareholder letter, we're focused on developing all those capabilities required for mass production. We're deploying those in Georgia. And all of this is because the Olympics have given us that really great single date to drive everything towards to be at scale. Thanks, Tom. And with that, operator, if you can open the line up for questions.
Absolutely. We'll now begin the live Q&A. If you would like to ask a question, please press star followed by 1 on your telephone keypad. If for any reason at all you would like to remove that question, please press star followed by 2. Again, to ask a question, please press star 1. In the interest of time, please limit yourself to one question and rejoin the queue should you have any follow-ups. The first question comes from Andre Shepard with Cantor Fitzgerald. You may proceed.
Hey guys, Andres here. Congratulations on the quarter and thanks for taking our questions. Since I guess I only have time for one question, maybe I'll make it a two-part question if I may. Adam, curious if you can just remind us your vision for commercialization in the UAE, kind of how do you see that unfolding and what are the steps required between now and then? And maybe quickly for Tom, did I hear correctly? So I'm just trying to understand, like the aircraft in production currently, those will be used to test different components with the FAA for TIA credit. Just want to confirm that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Andres. We kicked off the first of several launch edition programs earlier this summer in the UAE, and we now have signed definitive revenue generating agreements with both Abu Dhabi Aviation and Audio. And that sets us up for low tens of millions of dollars in payments over the next 18 to 24 months, with a portion of that starting this year. And under the launch agreements, the launch editions, we've delivered our first Midnight to UAE in June, and you can expect us to ramp up a small fleet in Abu Dhabi going forward. This year, we'll continue flight testing in hot weather. We'll train pilots with Etihad, and we'll prepare infrastructure. And if you remember on the infrastructure side, our strategy isn't to construct and certify new vertiports. We don't think that's pragmatic in a place like the UAE that has hundreds of helipads, more than 70 of which are in Abu Dhabi. What we've done is to work with the GCAA to release the world's first regulatory framework to certify existing helipads for evtol use. And then we're also working with a number of groups for access to their landing facilities. We announced several of them already. So Abu Dhabi Cruise Terminal, Falcon Aviation, who is the exclusive operator at the Corniche and Palm Jumeirah in Dubai, and Abu Dhabi airports. And I'll let Tom answer the second part of that question.
Yep. Hey, Andres. So as we said, we're building 6 aircraft right now, and those are going to be used for both FAA flight testing and some of the launch edition goals that Adam was just touching on. And so really the strategy is the same as it's been for quite a while, where each specific aircraft has a specific test plan. And we're working to make sure that the aspects of the aircraft, the systems, the components that are required to be conformed to support that particular test are all kind of sequenced in with our overall plans. And I think I highlighted earlier, we've had really good progress aligning with FAA on TIA plans. And so a lot of those, details and strategy we've had kind of laid out for the past year or so is really coming to fruition, which is super exciting.
Thank you. The next question comes from Mackenzie Holloran with Needham. You may proceed.
Hi, thank you. You have Mackenzie on for Chris. So just one from me. So in order to reach the early deployments of the Midnight aircraft with the DOT and FAA as soon as next year, could you just provide any color related to on-the-ground preparations needed to get the aircraft into commercial service? So specifically, where do things stand today on infrastructure readiness, aircraft production, and any other key milestones in order to achieve that? Thank you.
Hey, Mackenzie, this is Adam. So we have a fairly comprehensive infrastructure strategy that's in place. So we announced 3 vertiport networks that encompass many locations across New York, LA, San Francisco. We're working on several others as well. And this infrastructure strategy focused on real estate really across 4 main buckets. First bucket was across the major international airports that we operate with our partners, United and Southwest. And so you can think about places like Newark and LAX and SFO. The second one was around agreements with FBOs and portfolios around the big market leaders, Signature and Atlantic. So those are locations like Santa Monica and JFK. The third bucket was around municipal partnerships to install industry common chargers at city-owned infrastructure. So you can think about the 3 heliports in Manhattan as an example, which are publicly accessible. To be clear, no one has exclusive access to any of those. And the fourth bucket were proprietary deals where our data science team surgically identified key vertiport locations, and we formed partnerships with top-tier operators, places like SoFi Stadium or Oyster Point in San Francisco. So we've got a lot of the groundwork in place to operate there, and then from there, it's really getting the aircrafts in position to start operations.
Thank you. The following question comes from Edison Yu with Deutsche Bank. You may proceed.
Hey, thank you for taking our questions. First, on UAE, I'm wondering if you can give us a rough roadmap on what to expect, over the next, call it 12 to 18 months. I know you have Launch Edition ramping up, but just in terms of the flight testing, I think you also mentioned it's going to get more advanced. So you could share a rough path on what to look for in the next kind of year, 18 months.
Yep. Hey, Edison, this is Tom. So as we announced, we did our first flight out in the UAE earlier this summer, which was super cool. Main goal of that was to learn about operating in the really high temperature environment out there. Talked about that a little bit on the call. What you can expect to see later this year is more flying in the UAE, back half of the year. And then, big picture, what we're trying to do is parallel our efforts, progressing both our FAA certification and UAE certification. So just like in the US with the GCAA, we've got really detailed plans put in place that we're executing against
to gather all the requisite data from ground test and flight test to support the commercial operations there, ramping up over the next 12-month period you mentioned. But maybe Adam wants to chime in more about what that'll look like from the commercial side.
Sure. So we will grow the fleet from now through the first half of next year. We will get the commercial authority from the GCAA to begin flying. We will start exhibition flights, and those flights will mimic the actual passenger routes on the infrastructure that I mentioned, and then ultimately have the full commercial flights take place. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a roadmap.
Thank you. The next question comes from Amit Dayal with H.C. Wainwright. You may proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see all the progress. Congratulations. So the balance sheet looks really solid, guys. How much of this is going to go towards the defense opportunity? And, with respect to that, are there any catalysts on that front that, we should be looking out for?
Yeah, thanks for the question. We don't separate the capital in terms of commercial versus defense. There's one kind of large engineering team here at Archer. The good news is, as the Midnight program matures, a lot of the engineers can work over on the defense part of the business too. So you can think about parts of the aircraft program on the Midnight aircraft, like the Aero team, for example, that is more mature, can start working on the defense side as they're less needed on the Midnight aircraft. A lot of the Midnight team is still working on things like performance up and cost down, and as they start to roll off, they'll pick up steam on the defense side as well. As far as the defense side goes, I think you can see it in looking at the U.S. defense budgets, and there's a couple of pretty interesting data points. The Pentagon requested $13.4 billion for autonomous military systems, of which the majority was for aircraft. So as you know, in my previous calls, I can't say much about it, but I think there's 2 points that are quite interesting. One is we see this as a global opportunity, not just an opportunity in the U.S. This is something that makes sense all over the world, and so that makes this opportunity quite large. And the second is, our goal is really a program of record, not just a budget allocation. And so what we've learned, over the past, 18 months in our communications with the different defense departments is that you cannot simply hybridize a passenger eVTOL. You have to build a new bespoke aircraft. And so we've been working on this for a while. I think we have a clear advantage over our peers here, and we think it represents a very exciting opportunity.
Thank you. The following comes from Savi Syth with Raymond James. You may proceed.
Hey, good afternoon. So based on Tom's comments, I'm guessing, you're not out of policy completely, so you don't have your kind of compliance and cert plans approved. So under this scenario, could you talk about what can be accomplished on the certification side? And then just to follow up on the two-blade versus the full blade, I was just wondering how much of a major design change that is, or would that has an impact on the flying of the next few aircraft versus what you've done so far?
Sure. So Adam, I'll take the first part of that. So I think it's important to even just establish what you even mean to be in policy or out of policy. So what this is really referring to is working with the FAA on policy things like certification basis, your means of compliance, your certification plans. And so both Archer and Joby are the only two that have published airworthiness criteria. And so this means that we're really the only two in the final stages of policy. And so while we are largely done, it's not completely done. And so no OEM can fully conform an aircraft. So 18 months ago, we announced that we were building 6 conforming aircraft to be used in the FAA certification process. And we said that each aircraft would be used for TIA testing, each one with different systems. And we expected to be out of policy with the FAA in a short period of time. But given the industry issue papers and other policy matters that we were dealing with, that affected everyone, not just Archer, that did not transpire. So as a result, we are still building 6 aircraft, and we expect to use those aircraft for TIA testing. And in fact, the aircraft we're flying today will be used for TIA testing likely this year. But since policy for the industry isn't done, we cannot fully conform the aircraft and finish TIA testing. In fact, the FAA told me directly that nobody is out of policy yet. And so that's why we introduced the concept of the launch edition, which is where we sell the aircraft in advance of the FAA type certification process. And we'll do that to countries that want to start early. It allows us to generate revenue early. There's a list of countries that are very excited to do this. And it also sort of shows the importance of why the Olympics and the executive order have been highlighted so much by ACHR, because it helps bookend this whole process with the FAA, where the highest levels of government have said, this is very important to the U.S. It's very important for specific events to make sure that the policy issues all get done and are resolved.
Hey, Savi, and then I guess on the second part of your question, as you know, we've been flying conventional takeoff and landing on Midnight with a pilot for the last few months here. And that was really intentional. It's been the plan for a long time. Kind of to put that in context and get to your question about the aft props, we flew Midnight hundreds of times over the last couple years without a pilot on board. And so we got a huge amount of data on VTOL and transition. So we know a lot about that flight regime. So it was really intentional to try and gather data focused on conventional takeoff and landing. One thing we did is we had multiple pilots fly our airplane at this point. So we're getting feedback on landing, from multiple of our test pilots. But just to be clear, every plane that we're manufacturing now is going to have that new aft four-blade propeller, and all of those will likely focus on VTOL flying. That's not to say that CTOL flying is not important, both for all the reasons I mentioned, and because we're going to need to do TIA flight test for credit on the conventional takeoff and landing behavior. So all this stuff is stuff we need to do. But then just the last point is there still is a lot we can progress right now, given where we are with policy. And really the main area that we're waiting to close has to do with flight test and essentially flight test policy for the entire industry. And like Adam kind of mentioned, nobody can enter TIA if you're talking about flight performance until this is closed. And so we see a path for that getting wrapped up, in the near future, and good path to finish all the testing we need to get done.
Finally, some good news, some solid updates.
Thank you. The next question comes from Austin Moeller with Canaccord. You may proceed.
Hi, good afternoon. Just my first question. So was the goal of the mission critical composites acquisition, does that enable you to vertically integrate more carbon composites for the structures? And would that enable you to manufacture composites for the passenger aircraft as well as the unmanned aircraft and therefore rely less on third-party aerospace suppliers?
Yeah, Austin, thanks for the question. So as we said, many times, we think the defense opportunity is quite large, and we identified the need to have rapid in-house development capabilities around advanced composites. And so this was a really great way to stand up that capability. There are things we think we will learn on the defense application that will be able to ultimately transfer over to the civil application. And so you see this as, this is quite common in the, kind of broader commercial aviation industry, where defense a lot of times will lead to advancements in technologies for the civil side. But when we're just doing civil, it doesn't necessarily make sense for us to be doing, experimental things that might not be applicable for civil. So the defense side gives us that R&D capability, allows us to move quickly and ultimately mature technologies that will be very applicable and allow us to scale ultimately on the commercial side.
Don't go anywhere. We'll talk about this after the show.
The following comes from Bill Peterson with JP Morgan. You may proceed.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, and thanks for all the details. I wanted to come back to a prior question on flight testing. And I guess with the assumption, the comments around the TIA and also locking in the propellers, when should we expect, I guess, a piloted transition flight, just full vertical takeoff and landing versus conventional? What needs to be completed ahead of this for this to be de-risked? And I guess, when subsequently should we expect testing Midnight with FAA pilots on board?
Yeah. Well, as I just mentioned, in answering Savi's question, we've done a lot of flying VTOL on Midnight in the past without a pilot on board. So we've got a lot of data that's given us confidence in the behavior of the aircraft in that flight regime. And so, that was one of the main reasons we wanted to focus on conventional takeoff and landing. So having said that, we're planning to wrap up a lot of that CTOL test campaign and get back to VTOL flying with pilots on board later this year. But we're going to take it step by step. Another thing I mentioned is we're building aircraft right now that will have those new aft four-blade propellers. And, we've got some of those propellers in hand. So all of that is sort of moving forward at pace. And so all of that positions us to, support TIA testing over the, hopefully starting end of the year and then into next year. But last context there is we really have made tremendous progress with the FAA aligning plans for all the certification flight tests. And so each of these aircraft that we're building, we're really targeting to go achieve specific flight test objectives. I think that's the key here to get through this efficiently.
Thank you. As a quick
Interesting
reminder,
news.
if you'd like to
Don't
ask
go
a
anywhere.
question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad.
We will talk
The
about this
following comes from
later.
David Zazola with
$1,000
Barclays. You may
giveaway
proceed.
chart coming soon.
Hey, afternoon. Thanks for taking my question. You might have answered it earlier, but is the 15% number you mentioned during prepared remarks, is that apples to apples with the 15% figure you mentioned during 1Q? Because we have been kind of anticipating that many of the roadblocks to progressing in acceptance had been overcome. So, is it a flight test issue that is preventing more progress? Just more color on that, Tom, or just reference your prior answer if applicable. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So to put that number into context, this is the FAA accepting compliance verification documents for the aircraft. So this is like the very last stage before TC. We've got data. It's been witnessed if it needs to be witnessed. Here you go, FAA sign off. And so to answer your question, yes, we are about the same sort of percentage through that we discussed on the last call. But no, we don't see that as any issue. This is not something that we would expect to, continuously ramp up in a nice smooth curve. It'll kind of come and go or, move forward in chunks as we work through the various systems. And so one thing that we talked about on previous calls and we talked about earlier on this call is there are still these handful of policy items open. And so on the last call, we talked about emergency landing and specifically this industry paper around 2105G. Like we talked about on the last call, we have gotten that issue paper, but we're still waiting for it to be finalized at stage 4. And this is kind of really in the weeds of FAA certification, but we know what the requirements are. We're in good shape against those. We're just waiting for the administrative process to roll through such that we can then start conforming items, making compliance findings, sending in those reports so that we can get that 15% number to tick up. So kind of in the weeds, but hopefully that gives you some context.
Stay where you are. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you.
We'll talk
the
about
next
this
comes
shortly.
from Josh Sullivan with Benchmark. You may proceed.
Hey, good evening. Adam, maybe a higher level question. Just how do we think about the defense opportunity at this point as you see it? Just noted that it's quite large, strong Pentagon support for the industry and budgets, a couple high profile executive orders, and now 2 defense acquisitions here. Do you think we could see Archer with anything like 50-50 between commercial and defense, or how do you see defense technology settling into the portfolio maybe longer term?
This could be the key question.
I'll give you a higher level answer than just specifically defense. So, when we started designing the aircraft, we assumed it would be a relatively straight line through the type certification process. And as it's taken time, we announced the Launch Edition program. And that gave us a way to commercialize early the civil application. And so that was, I think, a creative way to find countries that wanted and saw this as a huge opportunity and wanted a way to monetize and start operationalizing the industry very early. And so we've been focused on that. The second part has been obviously focusing on the type certification with the FAA here in the U.S., which ultimately gives you, the ability to go, global. And so that's also been a big focus of ours. And then the third side of it has been on the defense application. Now, the defense application side is not as much focused on a certification process, but more focused on a program of record. That stuff is very chunky. And so there's not a lot I can give to disclose on, where that's at today, but I do see it being a very large portion of the business over time. I do also think it's obvious by looking at the conflicts today that there's a very real need for autonomous and attritable solutions, not just in future vertical lift, but really across many different applications. And so I do think it'll continue to be something we focus on. I think it has the opportunity to be very large and very large in the early parts of the Archer revenue generating process. But we'll have to wait and see how that all shakes out before we say too much.
That's not the answer we wanted to
Thank
hear,
you.
Adam.
There are currently no further questions queued, so I will now pass it back to Adam Goldstein, CEO, for closing remarks.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We're building the future of aviation now. We're not waiting for it. And each quarter, we're proving what's possible in this new era for our industry. I look forward to sharing our progress with you next quarter. Thanks.
Don't go anywhere.
This concludes today's conference call. Thank you for your participation. You may now disconnect your line.
Wow, what a call. So I want to know your opinion. What do you think was good? What do you think was bad? We had some good updates. We had some not so good guidance. The financial side is definitely great. I'm going to have a look through the chat as well. I'll give you the $1,000 giveaway as well. Don't go anywhere. Let's talk about this together. I'm just checking. I've got some friends from X dropping in as well. Thank you very much. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. If you have any questions or if you want to talk about something, do let me know in the chat. I will get to you in the very second. We've got the chat. You can see all day pretty much selling off today. That there's a retraction. Tune in tomorrow to Sensei's morning show. He'll give you brand new chart analysis, but you can see it doesn't look very good to me. Let's see how this develops. I told you I wouldn't be surprised if we are buying Archer for $9 tomorrow, and this could continue a bit further down. Do you think this will sell off, or do you think this will recover and we are back to $10? Let me know in the chat. And also let me know in the chat, what do you think of the call? What was the best thing and what was the biggest downside? We're gonna go through $1,000 giveaway. Again, we'll go through $1,000 giveaway in XRP. Let me just check what we've got in the chat. If we have any questions, any comments, let me put this on the screen, align it a bit. Right, do we have any questions? Hi, I'm new here. I saw a stream last night talking about crypto, but yeah, I dropped in. Yeah, definitely. This is a new sector. We believe this could be a massive sector. We are sort of in the early days of Tesla, if you look at it, and this could be really. Look at Tesla. Nobody believed in Tesla. They were literally one day away from delisting, and they are. Look where Tesla is now, market leader. Giving the trend to the whole market. I'm not saying Archer could be the new Tesla or Joby could be the new Tesla. Maybe both of them will be the new Tesla, but these definitely dominate the evtol market, and they are at the head of the race, at the forefront. So definitely some interesting guidance, a lot of good points, and in my opinion, quite a lot of missed updates. And like the FAA certification, yeah, he gave us, what was it, 15-17%, but they didn't give us any like timeline or anything, or any milestones. So that was a bit vague again. Whilst Joby, who are very confident with that, they give you the exact percentage and the exact track. So that's probably something that will enforce this negative reaction in the coming days. New Blade is here. Thank you for joining, my friend from X. What do we have any questions? AMC earnings released prematurely. Okay. What we've got? Do we have any questions? This is a brand new commercial industry. It takes time. It doesn't pop out of a cereal box ready to fly. Correct. There's a lot of testing, design, approval. Just the admin side itself is just. Yeah, it's never ending. I know when I spoke to Vertical Aerospace, they needed to submit documentation for their aircraft, for their VX4, and it was like 20,000 pages. 20,000 pages documentation for one aircraft for approval or for just review. So it's mad. I can imagine this takes so much time, the admin side. And also we are in pre-revenue stage. However, it won't be long. We are probably 2, 3, maybe 4 quarters at the latest in the pre-revenue stage, and then we will start bringing revenue in. As you could hear on the update, some of the aircraft currently manufactured will be used for the first adapters, for the first customers, which I think is great news. This is something we have been waiting for probably for 2 quarters already. So thankfully we got the update, and hopefully this will stay on the track. That is a big factor when it comes to investing. People don't want to touch companies that can't deliver. Yeah, I agree. The conversation was a bit... What do you think of that conversation? It was a bit staged and starchy, I would say. It wasn't like... There wasn't much delivery. It was very formal, I would say. I was expecting a more excitement. I was expecting some more news, to be fair. Hi, I'm new here. I saw a stream last night talking about, yeah, thanks for joining. Andrew will help lock in that program of record. Hopefully, we will see some new contract next year or this year. That will put ACHR into completely different position. There will be much more financial side. We know that they already have 1.7 billion in cash on their balance sheet. So even if they start putting more money towards the development of the hybrid aircraft, they still have good runway until probably end of the year. And end of the year, they will be in the revenue phase, 100%, no doubt. Be bold. Put an ACHR bumper sticker on your car. Yeah. No mention of I don't know what's going on. No mention of partnering with... Sorry, no mention of partnering with Palantir. Yeah, that was interesting. Definitely mentioned Anduril, but didn't mention Palantir. This was good. Update on the 4-blade rear rotors. That's great. That's something that raised a lot of noise and reaction on the last earnings call. We are now $9.19. We have still sort of... don't want to say sell-off yet, but this could be a sell-off tomorrow. So stay vigilant. I wouldn't buy it now. I would wait a couple of days for recovery. I've been saying this for a long time. I think we will be able to buy ACHR for $7. There'll be some cool-off in the coming months, and before the evtol market will take off. So I would give it definitely a day or two to see how it consolidates and if we have any further development. Jimmy, that's it, Vaz. He does evtols, but yes, I cover this is Martyn Lucas Investor. I cover mainly evtols, but all aerospace as well, whatever I can. As I said, tomorrow we'll be bringing you the conference. What is it? Needham or Canaccord? I think it's Canaccord. I'll be broadcasting this live on this channel. As you can see, Canaccord 45th Annual Growth Conference. Adam Goldstein will be talking there. And we will hear more news. We will hear some cream on top of this, what we just heard. Definitely, these conferences, they always reveal or drop little subtle hints. So we'll talk about it. We will watch it, and then we talk about it after if we get some good news as well. ACHR still has a long way to go. Hopefully they survive. Well, you could see the balance sheet. Runway 8, 9 quarters easily. So that's good. Thank you, Zach, for joining. Multiple vehicles in production. Yeah, that's the biggest news for me in the call. ACHR is going to thrive. Yeah, they just need time. All these evtol companies, they are here for a long ride. Yes, you can trade it if it spikes up. You could see ACHR a couple of months ago. We were what, $14? If I zoom out, can I zoom out? If I show you this monthly chart, not this one, this screen. If you look at it, $14. We were touching $14 back in July, mid-July, and look where we are now. So I don't think there's anything wrong with taking profits, but also we will have more opportunities to load up as it goes down. So definitely positive news on the earnings call. If the reaction is negative, that's a good thing for me as an investor. tomorrow 850 and we will buy it. 850 would be good price, yeah. 866 200 month average on the 6 month daily. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, you are right there. You heard Sensei as well before the show. He did full chart analysis, and again, as he said, we could be touching $9 and probably slightly below $9. If the guidance was very poor, we would have been down to 7. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen in next days, in the coming days. Macro could be bad as well. Donald Trump can start talking about whatever tariffs again or something. Will be the sentiment in the market will swing to the negative side, and again we could be between $9 and $7. So as I said, great entry opportunity now. 15% current, same as first quarter call, was a miss. Yes, I agree. I think ACHR will be just fine. Building out this industry globally takes a ton of time and ton of money. Yes, correct. I agree. Don't go anywhere. I'll give you the $1,000 giveaway. Let's just wrap this up. If we have any questions, or if you want to say anything in the chat, just pop it there now. Throw it at me, and I will read it out, and we will talk about it. None of the investor questions were answered, which were actually good questions. Yeah, I agree. I really would have liked to know what their estimated operating costs are per aircraft, like cost of specialized support equipment. You won't know this until you start mass production. Currently, it's more like on prototype level or R&D level. You won't know this until you are starting mass production. So we'll need a bit of time for this value. I think, like me, you should have 100,000 plus to phase in. Yeah, definitely. I agree. Not with the amount of money. I don't have $100,000, but yeah, buying in on each dip, having patience. I love building for efficiency and then taking that to scale. Yes. Not dynamic, which is what happens when they record their quarterly results. Not a fan of that approach. Too safe. Yeah, but ACHR are not in the best position. They are not the market leader anymore. So you could hear that on the Joby's earnings call. So Joby are quite ahead in terms of piloted flights. They are well ahead in terms of certification. But we also know we have at least 3 aircraft that will be used for the piloted phase. So that is the moment when ACHR can catch up. Or start catching up. 950 was support. Give it a couple of days first. I agree. Vanessa is here. Thanks, Abby. It was fun. If you are an ACHR or evtol fan, make sure to subscribe. Yes, Sensei. We are giving you evtols pretty much daily. I'm doing my live Saturday show where I give you stories, deep dives, analysis, news, whatever you name it. We have our own little investment sort of ETF, if you want to call it this way, for the evtol market. Definitely join me on Saturday. Subscribe, hit the like button. We are giving you updates pretty much daily. As you can see, tomorrow, another update. Canaccord 45th Annual Growth Conference. I'll be covering this live on this channel, waiting for Adam Goldstein talking about ACHR and their progress. XRP Army, I love it. XRP Army are here. Doesn't PFE look good since the last week earning? Profit was 78 higher. That's a different stock. I'm glad I sold mine when I did. May buy back when it starts. Yeah, I agree, Vanessa. I think you will have more opportunities to enter for long term. 5.8 million shares traded. Definitely not the meltdown we saw AHH last quarter to be quarter before. That was unreal. Yeah, I agree. Thanks for covering. Thank you for joining. We had great audience. We still, bear with me. We will have a look at the chat again. Let's have a look now. If we go, let me just zoom it in because I completely realigned my metrics in here. Right, this is the. I want this, don't I? Right, bear with me. Right, this is the chart for you here. Let me zoom in and I'll bring it on the screen. And now, as I'm adjusting it, current price 924, Again, I would not be surprised, and you are not surprised either, or you would not be surprised either, reading through the chat, that if we hit $9 tomorrow, that would be probably my personal first entry position when I start buying on the way down. So this is that's it. Tune in tomorrow morning to Sensei's show. He'll give you updated look at the chart as well. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe if you're interested in this technology. I already gave you my X account as well. If you want to stay in touch, I pretty much live and breathe and sleep on X. So that sounds bad, doesn't it? On my X account. So if something happens, I'm there usually amongst the first ones, and I'm giving you deep analysis as well. I've got 1,200 followers from this event. Thank you very much for following me. Like this earnings call thread. I love doing the threads because there's so much information I can fit in, and people just don't read through it. They see the first tweet, they never click on it. But this one did quite well with your support as well. 104 shares. Look at this, over 4,500 views, and the first subtweet about, what's that, 20%. That's good. That's good retention. So definitely, if you see a thread, if you see some arrows, click on it, because I'm giving you quick, brief hints and points. And then you could see here the update on November 704 Alpha Xavier. We didn't hear any. Well, we did partially, not for this particular aircraft, but I'll give you breakdowns. It's full of media. Here is a quick analysis from me as well. Polls. It's interactive. I refer to other tweets as well, whatever you name it. So definitely, if you see a tweet from me, click on it, because there is usually a thread, and it's full of media. It's full of videos. You name it. Polls, pictures, links. I usually invite. This was the link to this very show, and you did great job. Thank you everyone for joining. So definitely subscribe and follow me on X. Do nothing and drive when you can smoke. Do not drink and drive when you can smoke and fly. Fly, baby, fly. Zach is here. Thank you very much. Defense will bring in revenue a lot sooner than going down the commercial road. Very bullish. Yes. And also, you don't need to wait for FAA, for their approvals, for their waivers, for review of your aircraft. You can just fly for defense. Obviously, it's not as simple, but it's much easier. The admin side is much easier. So, let me give you the $1,000 giveaway. Would you like $1,000 in XRP in crypto? I know we have some XRP audience as well. Thank you very much for joining. It was great. Hope you like the show. If you want $1,000 in giveaway, here is the link in the chat now. www.martynlukas.com/giveaway. You go here. We have already a lot of entries. The show, the giveaway is getting bigger and bigger. There's more and more people taking part. There's a lot of tasks. I can't click on it because I haven't taken part, and I don't want to be diluting your chances to because if I want it, this is something we are giving away. We want to share our success and celebrate with you as well. Martyn, Sensei, and me, we are funding this out of our own pockets, and we are giving away $1,000 in XRP. How you can claim it? Go to martynlukas.com/giveaway and click to enter. Once you enter, can I see it? It's doing anything? No, I can't do it because cookies or whatever, and I don't even need to, because I don't want to be taking part in it, because if I won my own money, that would be bad. But there are multiple ways to enter. Following me on X, following Martyn on X, each for 100 tickets. You claim your tickets. Follow us on share a tweet, watch a video, give a like somewhere, follow us on YouTube, be a member of Discord, whatever you name it. Various tasks are generating certain value of tickets, and your tickets, then you can trade them in for your chance to get the $1,000 giveaway. You can do all the tasks, and it doesn't necessarily mean you will win it. and you can have as little as very one ticket, and you can still win it. So it's not too late to enter. We still have 34 days left, and you can still take part in this. And you can have your very own one ticket, and you can win it easily. So, but the more tickets you get, obviously maths, the more chance you have to win. So those who came here from my ex account, I could see in the chat, there's a lot of friends from my ex account. Sorry, it sounds a bit bad. Look, 1205 followers. If you follow me, that's giving you already like 100 tickets. So follow me on X, enter the giveaway, and then you are already generating 100 tickets. As simple as it is, as easy as it is. So martynlukas.com/giveaway. Do we have, let's see the chart. Do we have any more questions, or shall we wrap this up? Which other companies that report earnings this morning before the open that look good? I don't know. You can definitely request. You can definitely request some of the companies. Tomorrow morning. What is it? Tuesday. We've got. That's interesting. We've got Sony. We've got. Have a look if there's something that would float your boat. You can do a $5 super chat, and Martyn will cover this for you. I know Martyn is doing ASTS tomorrow, I believe. Is that correct, Martyn, or not? Or is ASTS tomorrow? I am doing Cisco on Wednesday. It's not on here. So I'm looking at the wrong week. Right, this week. Yeah, tomorrow we've got, have a look what is important, what is interesting. We've got eToro, that looks interesting to me. Bitcoin Depot, Inc. What else we've got there? I can't see anything that would be interesting or related to this sector, this very sector, but have a look at the screen. If you like anything, give it $5 super chat, and Martyn will cover it for you in the morning. And then I'm doing Cisco on Wednesday. That is a big player. That is one of the main partners of the Olympic Games in Los Angeles. So definitely a relation to the evtol and ACHR Aviation as well. So tune in on Wednesday, and tomorrow in the afternoon I'll be doing the Canaccord conference with ACHR Aviation as well. Have a look if you see any stock you like. We got ACHR, ASTS. Yes, I think Martyn will be covering ASTS as well at one point, but he will confirm this. Do we have anything interesting tomorrow afternoon or after hours related to our sector? No, because I've been through it. I know Cisco. Then we have EHang. Next week I'll be doing EHang, and we have. Let me see my notes. We have Red Cat as well. Defense company, drones, autonomous drones, you name it. So this is your earnings. Have a look if you like anything. Yes, good point from Martyn. For more ACHR Aviation analysts, follow or subscribe to the newsletter. Check out the newsletter. We have our own very own newsletter. Let me share this on the screen. This is our very own product, our very own news outlet. You've got a link in the chat. There'll be a link under the video if you are watching this as well. What is this? Well, Sensei gives you this newsletter every morning, and he gives you top 5 things to focus on. He gives you market forecast. He gives you updates on certain stocks, commodities, crypto. He gives you chart analysis. He gives you deep dives. He gives you top 5 topics for the day. And it's just like your forecast or your morning newspaper you would buy on your way to work. I do one for Saturday, for my Saturday live show, live evtol show. And I did this for ACHR, ACHR's earnings. This was a joint special for vertical aerospace. All the information you need in there. And then there's for ACHR. So let me just scroll down. You can see It's interactive. You have links in there. You have links to the event. If you was to get one for today, there would be a link to this very event. If you get one on Saturday, there's a link to the live Saturday show. And we have ACHR here. Again, pictures, videos, polls. You can be part of this. You can comment on the newsletter. You can have chat as well. You can have discussion. And look, all the information in there, basically pretty much what we covered in the earnings call was in the newsletter. You have key points. You have key points here. The defense pivot, 2 billion balance sheet. We got clarification on that. We didn't get directly the November 704 Alpha Xavier, but we got more than that. Actually, we got more aircraft coming. Launch edition and new customer deals. I was expecting we would hear a new customer announcement. We didn't. Supply and manufacturing partnership definitely mentioned. Certification timeline mentioned, but fairly vague. Mid East expansion, that was a big chunk of the call. US infrastructure update on it as well, and the Olympics. So you can see I covered in this analysis pretty much most of it. So, and again, clouds on the horizon, Stellantis and their financial losses, you name it. So if you have 7-day free trial. So join this, try it. If it's working, you will get full week of Sensei's morning forecast, and then you will have mine on Saturday. It's getting more and more complex. Mine definitely is. I don't have enough time. I ran the show for 1.5 hours. I ran 30 minutes overtime, and I covered like half of the stuff in the newsletter. And I've got a new part there as well. I'll be bringing you a weekly story. And on Saturday, we'll be talking about the King of the Sky, or Sky King, whatever. Those who know it, those who know this story, you know, this is a story about passion, love, unfulfillment. It's a very sad but moving and thrilling story. I love it. It's one of my favorite in the aviation industry. So I'll be talking about it. Definitely join me on Saturday. So that's it. Let's check if we have any questions in the chat. You have link to the newsletter. Joby Aviation live now on Extra. So you can check, you can see, and you can compare Joby Aviation earnings call, because we covered this last Wednesday live on the channel as well. So if you go to the Extra, you can listen and compare Joby and what they are better and what they are worse off. Trump will be warning Putin on Friday that if he doesn't agree to his proposal, he will be selling ACHR drones to... That's a good one. When does ACHR ramp? Well, you have the milestone 2028 Olympics. 2028, there will be probably 50, if not 100 aircraft operational. Hopefully 100 in Los Angeles. Part of the main event. All eyes are on the Olympics. The Olympic Games is the most viewed event worldwide. And 2028 summer, every single person around the world will know what a flying taxi is, what an ACHR is, and how it works. So that's my last milestone. And along the way, 2027, there will be a rollout in Los Angeles. Late 2026, there could be a rollout in Los Angeles, or first adaptation and trials in Los Angeles and New York. 2025, end of the year, we are scaling up our testing in the Mid East. And as early as 2026, first quarter, Joby have committed, well, they promised, first quarter 2026, you could be flying an evtol as a passenger. So we are 3 quarters away, and you can take an evtol as a passenger. So here is your timeline. Whether it's Joby or ACHR, it doesn't matter. Once you start flying people, all eyes will be on this. That will be in the massive spotlight. So me as an investor, I will be waiting for this for the rollout, for the first rollout, first commercial flights. Another milestone would be the FAA certification. Again, whether Joby or Archer, that will be the main trigger point that will swing the sentiment up, because people will start looking into these companies and investing. Next will be 2027 or end of 2026, early testings and adaptations in United States, and then 2028. That's the last milestone where the eVTOL market will be known worldwide, and every kid around the world will know what an Archer is, what the Archer Midnight aircraft is. Everyone around the world will probably know Adam Goldstein as well, and he could be the new Steve Jobs. I don't know. Is it a good analogy? Is it a bad analogy? I don't know, but he will definitely be a celebrity. So that's it. That's it for now. Go to the extra channel. Stay where you are. When I finish the stream, it will take you right in there. Have a look at the Joby earnings and compare it with Archer. Chart, we are following down. Yeah, it's like it's not falling down the stairs. It's slowly walking down the stairs. But as I said, tomorrow morning, probably below $9. Good entry point. This is not financial advice. This is just what I will be doing. You obviously have your own strategies, and you will have your own investment opportunities. Thank you very, very much for joining. This was massive. The event was massive. It was much bigger than we expected. Great audience. Thank you for holding with me till the end of the show. I can see we have good audience. Don't go anywhere. We'll take you to the Joby earnings. If you are watching, here is an Archer video related to Archer. Here is another video. I will see you on Saturday. No, I will see you tomorrow on the Canaccord conference. About the same time, same place. Here is a video related to Archer. Here's another video. That's it for now. Take care of yourselves and each other.